Okay, so today we're going to paint the flamingo. So what you want for your colors are your sand colors. So some different kind of, depending on what color you want for your sand, if you wanted a warmer color or a cooler color, tan. Then you want your watercolor, which is more of a turquoise, teal, and then your sky color, which is more of a traditional blue. You want your colors for your flamingo, so several different kinds of pink, one darker, one lighter. I have multiple ones here, kind of some examples. We'll add some white or darker to it depending on what you want for your flamingo color. We need our palm tree color, so we need some brown and some green, and then of course we need white and black. So for our brushes, we're going to want to have two of these utility brushes. So you want to have two of those ready. And then as far as our other brushes that we're going to use, we want a couple smaller square brushes. Now anytime we paint, it really nothing is real particular for a kind of brush, so I'm giving you just some suggestions to have available. This is not real precise painting, so what we're doing can be done with multiple kinds of brushes. I have two different sizes of a square brush. A square brush means that it's flat at the top. And then I have a couple different sizes of round brushes. That means that the top is not flat. And then I have a small detail brush. You want to have a palette close. You want to have some paper towels close. You want to have some water close. So today we're going to be painting on a 16 by 20. Our first colors we are not going to put in our palette, we're going to put them directly onto our canvas. So you see it's sort of divided into three parts. So I'm going to start with my canvas color, or my sand color. Remember the watercolor was the teal turquoise color, and I like to have a little bit of white mixed in with my watercolor. Same thing with my sky color, it's more of a traditional blue. So I'm going to put a little blue up there, put a little white with my blue. So as you can see, we've just squirted that paint just right on there. We can always add more. So we're going to take one of our utility brushes, and we're going to start with our water. We'll go ahead and just get this brush so it has something on it. And our bottom, we're going to make a little wavy, just kind of like a wavy line. And then our skyline is going to be flat. So the bottom is curvy, top is a straight line. And then we're just going to fill in. You can follow the shape of that if you'd like. I'm going to get a little bit of my white up there, do a little bit more white, kind of some waves. So we're going to use that same brush up here. I'm just going to paint. And I'm going to add a little bit more paint to this top. Oops, got a little drip. This guy. Make sure you paint your edges. Doesn't have to be perfect. We do want to cover that white. Then go ahead and put this brush in some water, and then we're going to take our other brush, and here our other utility brush, and we will fill in our sand. So I like to go into my water a little bit and do the rest here. This is the same thing if you want to add a little bit of white to it to give it a little more texture, you sure can. And then let's get our edges. Touch up my spot here a little bit. And that paintbrush is going to go in the water as well. And once you get these three sections done, we're going to go ahead and dry it really well. Okay, so we want to make sure that that's nice and dry because we're going to do our flamingo over the top of that. So you want to locate the bigger of the round brushes. And we're going to put our pinks in our paint tray. I have 3. Kind of a dark, medium, and light. You do not have to have that many. What you will find with the pink is that it does not have very good coverage unless you add a little bit of white to it. So you do want a little bit of white in your paint tray as well because we are going to be using that to blend and get better coverage. So it doesn't really matter which pink you start with because we're sort of going to be blending the whole thing together, but we are going to start with And I'm going to put a couple different pinks together. We're going to start with just the circle. You can kind of fill that in a little bit. So it doesn't have to be filled in perfectly. So we're going to go ahead and do an S. So we're going to start from the top of the head. We're going to do an S. Here's our neck. And then this will be the bottom of our body. So do you see my S? It's a backwards S, but you know what I mean? Almost like a, it's almost like the, like a 2. Whichever way is easier for you to look at it. It's kind of backwards, it's a backwards S. And then we're going to do our top of our body. And we'll add to our neck here. So as we fill it in, you'll be able to change your shape a little bit if you're not very happy with it. But I would suggest as you're painting that you do mix with your white as you're filling in, because you will find that that does give you a lot better coverage and you'll see less of your blue underneath. So now we're just going to fill in. When you're down here on the body, you do want to sort of keep the same shape motion with your brush strokes. And then you do have a feather here, so just keep in mind as you're filling in the direction of your brush strokes. Think of the feathers. And I am alternating between really all of my colors, all of my pink colors. And I'm just making a little tail at the end there. And really just keep filling in as you feel, as you want. There's no right or wrong for this. This is just sort of personal preference. Again, I'm just following the shape of the flamingo with my brush strokes. So we're not going to dry this part yet. We're going to do some of our black. And then we'll do a whole dry once we get to a part where we can dry a lot of it. So you want your black out, your brown, and then depending on, so I used my white. I used my white for the Flamingo mixing, and it looks like I have a part of it that doesn't have too much pink in it that I can use. So we're going to start with the white, and we're just going to add a little. Add a little bit of white. And this is with that bigger square brush. And then I'm going to just squeeze off that extra white. I'm going to use the same brush. All right, same brush. We're going to do our palm branch. Go ahead and squeeze that paint off. I'm going to dip it in the black, in the brown. couple just doing a couple brown lines. And then I'm going to get my green out. And I squeeze the paint out of this. Same brush. And we're just going to do some leaves. I'm going to dip in my white again, just in the edge, and do a little bit blending with my green. And if you want to squeeze that green paint off, if you want to add a little, same way where I'm doing the black brush, very small, if you want to sort of enhance your palm branches, you can do a little bit of black over the top of that brown. Then we'll be done with this brush. We're going to take that smaller square brush and we're going to make a little smoother transition here with our beak. So we'll kind of fill in a little bit here. This isn't real necessary, but it makes the beak look not quite so. We're just kind of making a little more of a transition to that beak. So we're going to take that smaller round brush. We're going to do just the black part of our eye here, just a round circle. And you can put all your brushes in the water for now. And then let's go ahead and dry, and then we'll do some of our details. Okay, so now let's find this really smallest brush that we have. This is where you can make some choices as far as how much detail you want to do. I am going to make my beak a little sharper at the end here. You can also do some eyelashes if you want eyelashes on your You can also outline any parts that you'd like to outline in black. You can outline your flamingo. Or you can leave it not outlined. Your choice. Outline your feathers. If you want to do any outlining, just adding a little black to any of your, or white to your palms. And then you'll want to put a white dot in the middle of your eye here. So you just want to use the end of one of your paintbrushes, dip it right in your white, and just make an eye. And then you can make the choice of if you want to add any words. I'm going to put a navy blue. Using that small brush. Now I like when I do words, it's nice if you do capital letters, sometimes that's easier. And if you try to not be particular, so I'm overlapping the ends of my letters a little bit. Remember, this is a beach picture after all, so it does not have to be perfect. Now on this, if you don't want to attempt the cursive, I would just at least change your script and maybe do a lowercase and maybe do it off to the side, a little tilted, maybe a little fancier. I guess I could leave it darling and put a little quotation mark there. Don't be afraid to do your letters in 2 strokes because you do want to make sure that you have plenty of paint on your brush. And if you are going to apply glitter, you do want to make sure, the most important thing is wherever you're going to apply that glitter, that you completely dry it because we are going to paint the glitter on. So go ahead and dry. Alright, so if you choose to do the glitter, you're going to want to find a particular kind of brush. You're going to want to find one of these lighter color brushes that are very stiff. They almost feel like they're a straw type of brush. But you want something that's pretty strong in order to get your glitter out of the little containers. And then wherever you want that glitter to be, we're just going to paint it right on. So I did my whole flamingo. The most important part of this glitter is when you are done with the glitter, that brush needs to go right in the water. Okay, this is kind of a glue and it does not rinse out very well if it's allowed to harden. So it is very important for us, in order to keep the brush that you've just used, that it goes in the water, because if it stays out, we won't be able to use that brush again. So put that brush, when you're done, right in your paint water cup. And there is your sparkly flamingo.